They outplayed us, out-rebounded us, got more than 50-50 balls. They wanted it a little more.
Did they do anything different to you to keep your scoring up?
Yeah, it seemed like they went back to how they was playing game 1 and 2, just in the gap, super heavy. No matter what, my guys was making shots, they still was in the gap. So, yeah.
More difficult than the first 2 games when you played them?
No, not really. Just same thing, just in the gaps. My bad, Lenny.
How do you guys bounce back now? You guys, 4 games in. What do you think about going back to OKC?
I feel good, man. Just try to get one and come back home.
And just the turnovers that they create, just what are you kind of seeing from that respect that made it harder to take care of the ball tonight than versus game 3?
You just can't play with the ball around them. Like, everybody on the team is handsy. Just can't play with it. Gotta, like Coach said, got to pick one way and go. And then once they show you the heavy gap, get off of it.
How about what Nikhil and Dante gave you?
It was balling. It was balling. Hopefully they carry that over to the next game. We'll be all right.
It did seem like you were making that right play. They're bringing that. I mean, how do you feel about your sort of offensive process there? Obviously, probably not as many points as you individually want.
Yeah, definitely not the I guess the points I wanted to get, but I mean, they didn't really let me get too many shots off. They did a good job of that. Every time I had the ball, they showed me a major crowd. So just making the right play, getting off of it. My guys hit shots tonight, so big shout out to them.
Yeah, and just, I mean, you guys played good defense on Shea and J-Dub a lot, and they just made big shots over you. Is that kind of what you saw? I mean, in good position a lot for the fourth quarter?
Yeah. I mean, J-Dub had a bunch of open ones. He made some tough ones, too. Shea made some tough ones, but I think Chet changed the game for him more than anything. The easy points he had, the easy rebounds, putbacks, all his points. I think that was the game changer.
So much of your guys' play up front to this point was big nights from you and Randall, and just how to kind of hit you for the fact that you guys both struggled at the same time tonight.
I don't look at it like I struggled or he struggled. They had a good game plan, making us get off the ball. Especially for me, man, it was super in the gaps. I made the right play all night, so I don't really look at it like I struggled. I didn't get enough shots to say I struggled, so that might be how you guys look at it. But yeah, I didn't struggle at all. I made the right play.
And do you have to fight the urge to want to shoot at all?
Yeah, that's the difference. Yeah, like it's an urge that I want to get the ball in the rim, put it up there, but you don't want to take bad shots and get your team out of rhythm. So just playing the game the right way, man, and that's what we did tonight as a team.
Do you feel like you got to score 30 for this team to win? Do you put that burden on you?
No, I'm putting no burden on myself. Just try to win. The only burden I put on myself is try to win. We gave ourselves a chance tonight. We just didn't come out from the start with the same aggression that we did in Game 3.
You feel maybe left one out there tonight? I mean, you guys did not play a perfect game, but at the end you were within 2. Do you feel like you maybe left one out there tonight?
Yeah, I mean, we gave up 19 offensive rebounds and 21 turnovers. So they got 40 more possessions than us. So and we lost by 2. So I'm not saying that's good. I'm not saying that's bad, but we could take that and run with it. I mean, so we'll be all right.
Guess said you played desperate in Game 3 and it worked. Do you have to flip that switch again now in Game 5?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, 3-1. You know what's at stake. So yeah, gotta come out and try to get a win.
Thanks, sir.
Nikhil, just how do you kind of process that one? How close you guys were and just couldn't quite get all the way over the hump?
Definitely sucks being that close, but at the end of the day, you got to look at why. And right now, they're facing reality, down 3-1. Not much time to really dwell in whether or not we're happy or not or whatever the case may be, emotions aside. Got to focus on what's at hand and get to the next thing. And at this present moment, when you look back at the game, and it says it all right here, you know, they had 19 offensive rebounds. We knew that's what they did. We knew that they wanted to turn us over. And we talked about it. Game 3, we didn't let them do that, and we seen the result. And so everything's out there. There's no secrets. They know how to beat us. We know how to beat them. It's just about going out there and doing it, and who wants it more, trying to execute it more. And we've shown that at times throughout this game, but consistency, that's all it has to be.
Dante, just what did you think? I mean, you had your game going. It seemed like in a really good rhythm. How did it kind of, just at the end, what made it difficult to just get all the way over?
I mean, Keel said it. It's turnovers and rebounds. It's a possession game in the playoffs, and I think they just, they dominated us in those categories, and, we still, I hate to say you only lost by 2, but that's where the hope comes. We're still together. We know what we're up against, uphill battle, but everybody's sticking together and understand that you try to look at this game and grab any sort of hope, and that was it. You lost the turnovers, you lost the offensive rebounds, and you lost by 2. So we know what the environment's going to be going in there on Wednesday, and we're trying to get another home game.
Nikhil, you were part of a group that was down 3-1 in the conference finals last year, and that was kind of the end of their journey. What can you take from these 2 games at home, the 40-point win, the one possession game tonight, that you can apply to Game 5 to extend this thing?
Got to play desperate, got to play like there's no tomorrow, because there isn't. And right now, if we want to win, it's not about how much we can score. It's about, can we get the stops? Can we rebound? Can we find a way to make winning plays relentlessly and consistently? So for us, that's the focus. For me, whatever that's going to look like tonight, it looked like whatever my production was. 2 days from now, it can be different. And so for me, the only thing I care about is seeing another day. Dante and I have a great relationship, and we talk all the time just about how we can help each other and how we can help the team. And as long as that's our focus, I have confidence that we can be okay.
And Dante, what do you make of Ant tonight? Not scoring as much as we're accustomed to, but continuing to play make and, kind of taking what the defense was giving him.
He just figured it out throughout the game. He was just, figuring out what the game needed, what we needed. Second half, I think he did a great job of getting downhill, just making the right play every time. He was getting to the cup when he could finish, and he was spraying it out to shooters on the perimeter. And I think when we go back and watch the film, I mean, the blueprint's there. We just have to go out and execute it for a full 48, and understand that it might not be a scoring night, or it might be a scoring night, but he needs to be aggressive in attack mode at all times for us to have a chance.
Nikhil, can you describe the challenge of guarding Shea in a tight fourth quarter playoff game?
He's going to be aggressive. He knows that they're going to rely on him heavy, so he's not worried about, at this point in time, missed shots, because he knows it keeps coming back to him. And he knows who he has been all year for them, and they're going to keep relying on him. So the main thing is just trying to throw him off his rhythm. He has a lot of moves. He's going to be creative. He's seen every coverage that pretty much any team can throw at him. And so for me, it's just about trying to anticipate what he's going to do, make sure that every shot he takes is the tough shot, and defend without fouling. Took 14 free throws. I think it's easier said than done. It's kind of what he does. But finding ways to come up with stops. We made him miss a bunch. Sometimes they got it back. So the tough thing about it is, do we capitalize when we actually do the right things? And that's what's going to matter.
Do you look forward to maybe the discussions you guys will have when this series is over about what it was like to go up against each other?
Only if I win, to be honest.
Nikhil, outside of closing the possessions with defensive rebounds, how did you feel you guys just guarded in the half court defensively? What was working with the defense? What could have been better as a team?
Our gaps are good. Finishing plays could have been better. Just finding ways to come up with those stops. Second efforts from the gaps to closeouts. Jalen Williams made 2 or 3 big shots for them down that stretch. That kind of, when we cut it to 2, you put it to 5. Cut it to 2, you put it to 5 again. So multiple efforts on those flyouts, stunts, all 5 staying connected. That could have been a little bit better to help us, I think, solidify that.
Dante, what makes it so challenging playing them when you're kind of fighting uphill like you did in Game 2 tonight to try to get over the hump? Just what makes it so challenging trying to come back on this team?
They're a good team. They're a great team. They finished, first in the NBA for a reason. They just, stay with it throughout the game. They get to where they want to get to, and they get to the free throw line at crucial moments. And I think we have to, weather that storm and do our best to not put them on the free throw line. I think when we're playing with a pace to us and keeping them off the line and keeping them, out of their rhythm, which is that gives us a chance. So it is tough. They're all a tough cover. They're good players, but we know what we have to do. I said it before, the blueprint's there. We just have to go out and execute it for a full 48.
One of the differences in this game is that they were able to get your two top scorers off the ball. You guys weren't able to get their two top scorers off the ball. You guys outshot them in terms of accuracy and everything, but what difference does that make in terms of the way teams play? Does it matter that like Ant and Julius weren't able to get off as easily and that their two top guys were dominant in terms of both points and assists?
They had 19 offensive rebounds, and we had 23 turnovers. It doesn't matter who's going to score. You can't win a game with those numbers right there. If those two guys are the ones scoring and we take everybody else away, it might be a different result. But the offensive rebounds and the turnovers, you take away the quote-unquote junk points, and it's a whole different game.
Yeah. Just piggybacking off what Dante said, they're going to be aggressive, and they're going to be, at this point in time, they've walked through so many scenarios. They know every team would love to get the ball out of Shai's hands and out of Jalen's hands, but they're not going to just allow us to trap them all game. And the way their system set up is different from the way our system set up. And fortunately, we have depth to where we can be in a 2-point game with our two guys who aren't, and that's who we are. We have to play to our identity and our strengths, but can't be caught up in necessarily what they're doing. It's just got to be who can play to their identity the best, who's going to stay within their strengths.
Any other questions?
You guys have been through a lot this season and feed off being the underdogs. How are you going to keep that belief intact going into Game 5?
Shit, there's no other mindset to have.
Yeah.
Win, you go home. So,
Yeah.
Like I said, we're just trying to get another home game, trying to play in front of our, our home crowd again, and go out there on Wednesday and, like Keel said, play like you're going home. And, when everybody's counted us out all year. So, like you said, we've been through a lot. We're together as a locker room. We don't care what the media's going to say. We don't care what, TV's going to say. Like I said, we're focused on one game at a time and just give ourselves a chance on Wednesday.
Just not conceding to the situation, finding a way, and just got to want it more. The good thing about it is in this situation, every time we've had a coming to terms, talk within each other, we've always responded well. I don't know what it was, but I think it was in Phoenix or something. Finchie called us out, and we went 17-4 to end the season. Prior to that, we had another run where we were able to figure it out right before injuries. We have a resilient group, and I trust in that group.
Obviously, your individual performances, you can't really celebrate because of the loss. But Nikhil, do you think that your performance made Charles Barkley at least know your name now?
A lot of people say that, at least like now he's going to know how to pronounce your name. But as long as my family know how to say it and the people I love know how to say it, and at this point in time, I could care less. I just want to win. Whether or not he knows my name, cool. We still got games to win, and, hopefully this isn't our last game and we can make something special happen.
So many turnovers for you guys tonight. Obviously, that's one thing that they like to capitalize on. What do you think it was offensively where you guys got yourself into trouble in some of those spots?
I'll say you just got to have more ball movement and then just move the defense around. They
just got to get credit to them. They real, like, handsy. They play super hard, and it kind of, I wouldn't say started us, but it just got us off balance a little bit at the beginning.
They kind of limited Anton Julius's impacts tonight, but everybody else around seemed to kind of take advantage. What were you guys finding within the game offensively?
I mean, and Ju, like, they carry, like, this, I'll say all the presence is, everybody's watching them. So, I mean, it's a bunch of space for, like, me, Kill, everyone else, Dante, just to be able to play free, get downhill. I mean, Kill had a bunch of threes today, same with Dante. So, I mean, it's just a lot of space for us to work.
It seemed like you guys didn't let them get to any of the spots they wanted to on Saturday, and they got to more of those mid-range shots, and looks like that tonight. What was the difference in your mind there?
I'll say we just got to make the paint look crowded around Shea. I mean, that last game we played, he was seeing like 3-4 bodies. I feel like this game he only seen like the man guarding him and probably one gap person. So we just got to get better at our game plan mistakes.
Jaden, what every time you would make a kind of a mini run, they had kind of an answer. Did you feel like you were close to kind of breaking through that at some point?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we gave them a bunch of offensive rebounds. They'll hit a three or get a tip in. So I feel like during the time of our comebacks, like something like that will happen, and it will just stop our run a little bit.
Just beating them 3 straight times is a tall task, but the way you guys have played these last couple games, the competitiveness of it, what's just the mindset of this group now as you go and just try to get Game 5?
I mean, it's win or go home. I mean, it's just you got to come to play, or the season gonna be over.
What do you feel like the biggest differences were as far as like mindset and going into this game versus the last game where you guys obviously dominated? And what would you want to change for the next one?
We just got to be ready to play. Like last game, we kind of got onto a big start and just making shots and stuff. But this game, we just got to flow through our offense. Like we make pass combinations, drive and kick, and then it opens up for all of us. And just we got so many versatile people. I mean, it could be anyone's night.
What was the message in the huddle when the game is that close at the end like that?
I'll say just staying locked in, don't make mistakes, and just the communication was big. If you're switching, make sure you're switching, or if you got to break off. So just make sure that the details are there.
Jane, it's hard to play there. Obviously, what in your mind has to be different, maybe in the approach or just the way you guys attack out of the gates in Game 5 versus what you did in Games 1 and 2 there, where momentum seems to kind of snowball there for them?
We just got to be ready to play. I mean, at home they start super well, so we got to withstand their little run at the beginning. But we just got to come to play and just got to play tougher, play stronger, and just hold them to one shot.
You guys are going to, Nikhil, Nas, Dante, you guys will need them to come out on top in this series. How nice has it been to kind of see them get rolling offensively?
No, it's super good to see that. I mean, I'll be shooting at night with them all the time, so I know they're putting in the work. It's just good that they able to come out and show the world that they can hoop.
Jaden, you really kind of started off kind of setting the tone, getting to the rim. How much of that is a focus of yours to kind of start games and getting yourself going like that?
Yeah, I just got to stay aggressive throughout the game. I feel like I kind of let my foot off the brake a little bit when I start missing, but it's just something I got to work on, being better, of not worrying about missed shots, just keep shooting if I'm missing.
Any other questions?
I could take this.
Absolutely. It's they had 40 between the two. You're not going to beat a team like this if you're certainly turning it over 20-plus times and letting them have a bunch of second-chance opportunities. And we knew that. So
Shea and J-Dub just really had it in the fourth. Like, what made it so difficult to defend and keep them from getting
they got to their spots and they rose up and made shots over us, but we got to do a better job of trying to contain that first dribble like we did Game 3. Did a much better job there. So,
Chris, you have a balance between Ant going off and given what the game gives him. How do you think he played tonight?
I thought second half was more aggressive. He got downhill. We got him off the ball a little bit more. When he got to the paint, I thought he found some people, made the right plays. I think first half he lagged behind a little bit too much. He needed to get out in front so we could stretch the floor and screen for him a bit. But second half was much better. So.
Chris, similarly, what did you think of Julius tonight, and
Yeah, I mean, it's, didn't have a great night, obviously. Bench was really, really good, so I rolled with them. They were finding shots for each other. They shot the ball extremely well from the three-point line, which, we did a good job of finding those things. That's the guys that we chose to go with there. So.
On the offensive rebounds, was it, from your vantage point, a matter of just effort, or was it?
Yeah, it was. They on a lot of them hit first. They rebounded well out of their area. They came from distance to get stuff. I think some of them were long. Those we were all trying to crack back, and some of them were long, and we weren't able to get those, particularly later in the game. So.
It was a 2-point game.
Yeah.
Was the difference in a 2-2 series or 3-1?
Yeah.
How do you kind of emphasis upon you guys that there's still more series to play?
Yeah, for sure, 100%. But this isn't the formula to get it done. And I think that's the most important thing to take away from tonight. So.
Chris, you mentioned pregame about the decision making when you guys are making quick decisions.
Yeah.
Those turnovers go down. How much of that did you see in terms of?
Yeah, they. I didn't think we started the game with that, kind of mindset and mentality and imposing ourselves offensively. We turned it over 7 times in the first quarter, and a lot of those were just, trying to play in traffic, taking on matchups that invited more, attention and more of a crowd, and not kind of really going anywhere. So.
Chris, Nikhil leads you guys in scoring and is taking on difficult defensive matchups. Just what did you see from what he gave you?
Yeah, he had a great night. He shot the ball well. He got to the hoop. He made the right play. He battled his tail off, defensively. He was outstanding. He's really been playing well of late. So.
And Chris, how about Dante? Just what he gave you off the bench?
Yeah, really good again. It was good to see him out there knocking down shots. And again, those guys really did a good job of finding each other, moving the ball, and they had really good looks as a result of it.
The defensive looks that you give Shea, how do you kind of make the decision in game, whether throwing a couple at him or just kind of trying to go one-on-one and make it tough on him, kind of individually that way?
He's 13 for 30. It's obviously went to the line 14 times. That's too much, but 13 for 30 is a pretty good defensive effort there when it comes to 2-point percentage. I know he's really, really good, but it's the 16 for 37 from the 3-point line that hurt us a lot more than the 13 for 30 it did. So.
Jaden came out really aggressive today. Just what kind of boost did he give you in that first quarter, and is that something he can kind of do more throughout the game?
Yeah, he's been doing a good job all series. He's been really aggressive. He's shot the ball well, and he's had a matchup that he feels that he can take advantage of when the ball finds him. So he's been doing a great job. Thank you.